Hello, my name is Raymond J. Bly. I want to tell this court about my 3 kids. Yes, my oldest daughter, Linda, I should have the same charges against me, basically, because I abused the hell out of her back in the 70s and early 80s. She was a wild kid, though. But by the time she got to high school, she didn't want any of her friends to know where we lived or who I was, or her mom. When I drove her to school, I had to drop her a block away. I didn't, but that's what she wanted because she didn't want any of her friends to see the old car I was driving. It was terrible. When I got her in Florida, she flunked the first year. I convinced the college to let her keep going. I put $15,000 on a house and paid mortgage for a whole year on a $45,000 house. And she kicked out tenants and everything after the second or third year. She didn't want any tenants to help pay the electric bill, the water bill, her gas bill, some of her books and food bill. She wanted me to do that. She got a pit bull. She got a German Shepherd that tore up the goddamn house, ruined the house. And when I asked her if she cleaned the house up so I could put it on the market, after I'd convinced the college to let her take history one more time to keep her in college, and she passed it and didn't get kicked out in the summer, a couple of years later, she kicked out everybody and moved in a boyfriend. And I said, you got to rent the other damn rooms out because I can't afford to pay for you. I got Curtis in my Melbourne paying for his damn house. Well, she claimed I was prostituting her out if her boyfriend had to pay me rent to live with her, which is now her husband. And when she moved out, I said, why are you going all the way to Minnesota? Minneapolis, Minnesota. Get as far away from you and Mom as I can so you can't come meddle in my life anymore or visit us very frequently because it's going to be 1,500 miles. I had to take Christina down there for 2 whole weeks, 1 week at a time. She wouldn't water the yard. All the grass was dead. All the flowers and bushes I'd planted was dead. The inside, the flooring, carpeting, and everything was ruined. The walls were all marked up. Everything. We had to completely renovate the entire house at a cost of about $5,000 or $6,000 out of my pocket. Everything was filthy dirty. Everything was ruined. I was able to get $55,000 or $58,000 when I sold the house, thanks to Christina, though. Then the house I bought for Curtis, I put $5,000 down, and he cashed in his government bonds of about $6,000 to help pay books and schooling and everything until he could get financial aid and everything. Between moving him down there, the water line breaks. I get an atrocious water bill. I have to replace the line from the road into the house for hundreds of dollars. Fuses and wiring hanging everywhere. I had to call an electrician and have half the house rewired and a new box put in with circuit breakers. Hundreds and hundreds of more dollars. I planted some fruit trees in his yard. After a year, he says, I'm coming home, Dad, and go to the University of Maryland. This college sucks. The accreditation of this college has dropped so low that I'd never get a job even if I keep the 4.0. He comes home. He complains that I owe him his $5,000 back because he had the house sold for $5,000 down and take over the mortgage. And gave me the $5,000 back. I spent thousands of dollars on furniture to furnish that house for him. I was paying $450 a month for that house for 11 months. Over $4,000 fucking dollars in payments. I spent thousands of dollars to fix the house up so it was livable. And I put $5,000 down on the damn house for him, and he claims it's his money when he was going to get married a couple years later. He was always too busy when he came home to help me in my store, and I saw him studying most of the time, so I let him study instead of trying to help me pay his bills. I went without. Then he went to go to get married. He demanded I give him his $5,000 back he put down on that damn house because he needed the money to get married. I finally got an IRA of about $3,700. I cashed the IRA out, which I paid a hell of a tax on, and I gave him the damn money and told him to shove it, and I didn't go to his damn wedding. But let me backdate to Linda again. When she moved to Minnesota, my wife would call her, wanting to talk every couple of days. Sometimes she wouldn't answer the fucking phone for a whole month. My wife would cry, "What's wrong with Linda? I hope she didn't get in a car accident. Why won't she call me back?" Sometimes 2 months she wouldn't call my wife back. She didn't want anything to do with my family. We were scum. She didn't tell me that she was pregnant or had kids until they were toddlers already, or her mother. She didn't want us to know anything about it because we might visit her. Her husband's parents hang around with governors, even went to the White House when Obama first got elected, because he ran campaigns for them in Ohio after they moved to Ohio. She didn't care about Mom's treatments even after the second year. Didn't show up for one of them, but she does live a long way. I gave each one of my kids $10,000 and thousands of more dollars in that first 2 years, because I wanted to divide everything up, sell everything, and give each one of the family members $10,000 so they wouldn't have to pay taxes, and slowly get rid of all my belongings to give to my kids. But they wouldn't show up, all three of them. So I decided to cut them off after about 2.5 years, 3 years. My wife said, to hell with them. I want to cut them out of our wills. And they started fighting. Linda called me up and cussed me out many times. Don't I love my grandchildren? Well, I smoke. She don't want them around me. She don't want them talking to me. She don't want them to have anything to do with me. And the whole time this fucking Dr. Knight is telling him that I'm going to kill my wife because I still smoke around her and I let her smoke. They should take her away from me or kick me out. That's what I heard from all three of my kids for the first 2 years. So after 2.5 years, I got tired of it and cut them off, and then they started screaming and yelling. I didn't love them. I didn't care about them. I was cheating them out of their inheritance. And Mom was too. Well, they don't deserve any fucking inheritance, not a goddamn penny of anything. But the court took everything away, so I have no say. They give it to them. And I gave a will to the wills people, even though Glenn Fallon, which was disbarred during my trial in Howard County Circuit Court from the federal system, and then in about a year after my conviction was finalized, he was disbarred again. He helped write up the will and word it properly, he said. I don't know if it is or not, but he was disbarred. Ineffective counsel for his clients. He owes his clients thousands of dollars of refunds, but you can't find them. Now let me go on to October 1st. My kids are screaming and yelling, banging at the windows the day before, that we have custody of Mom. You can't stop us from doing anything with Mom. That's court order. After this fucking court cost me thousands and thousands of goddamn dollars out of mine and my wife's money. And legal fees for the goddamn lawyers they appointed. And taking away my rights. Well, October 1st, Linda calls and starts cussing me out. The mom would be better off with them. And she approves of the court order, so I stopped answering the phone. She left a nice, detailed message that she hopes the court does every goddamn thing they can do to me and more. Then the SWAT team shows up, proving this county is all dictatorial. They can do anything to you in this goddamn country. Beat me up, hit my head against the front cement wall, knocking my ass out. For 15 minutes I was on the goddamn ground, according to my video cameras. And I'm taking that with me, the hard drive, and I'm going to put it on once I'm out of the area and nobody knows where in the hell I am, at one of the local libraries. Just like I put a lot of these depositions I took on just recently, yesterday. They moved my wife to my son's house. They all three claim that they could take better care of my wife, screaming and yelling at me for the previous 5 goddamn years that they could. My wife stinks. They left the bedroom window open all goddamn October, 24 hours a day. After the mental institution let me out, I called my son, which never came to visit me, or my daughter Linda, or even bothered to call me about a damn thing. It was only Christina that cared a little bit about me. But when I asked her to help me for the last 4 or 5 years do anything, I'm busy, maybe next month, maybe next month, maybe next year. But I called my son asking if I could see my wife. He said, well, you got to make a few-day appointment before you can come over. You just can't come over. This is my house. And I'm the guardian of Mom. So I said, what day can I come over? He says, he's told me a date. He says, my wife and children don't want to be around you, so they won't be home when you come. Well, he never wanted his children around me anyway. Nothing to do with me. I'm a dirty, filthy old man that smokes and cusses some. I go over, she's laying in a bed with the window wide open with a box fan. And I have a light jacket on because it's 45 degrees outside. If you remember last October, it was all the days were 50 or below. And nights were getting close to freezing. I said, why is the window open? Mom stinks. We leave it open all the time because she smells up the house. And we turn the fan on sometimes to clear it out when we're changing her diapers. And my wife is laying there in bed, shivering. She is under a blanket. I mean, she's shivering real bad. And I was afraid to say anything, but he runs in the room and says, oh, I forgot to turn back on the electric blanket. Well, those electric blankets turn off every 10 or 15 minutes or so. He left her in the room shivering all night with the window wide open and the door shut so the stink wouldn't get out in the rest of his house. Then I went over a week or so later. She was sitting on the living room couch. He's so fucking cheap he couldn't turn the heat over 60. Yeah, she had a blanket on, but she was sitting on the couch in her living room shivering. He makes 6 figures or close to it. And then my youngest daughter tells me they complain all the time and they're fighting all the time to get Mom out of the damn house. His wife didn't want her there anymore, too much work. And she couldn't babysit when Mom was there to make money. I didn't know she was manic depression, or whatever you want to call it, extreme depression because of having miscarriages and a half-deformed child born dead, and was on a lot of antidepressants medication while my wife was there. But Curtis told me Christina never came over. 1 or 2 days a week. And that was it. So Christina told me when she showed up 3 or 4 days a week, Curtis's wife would walk right out the door while she was walking in, leaving Mom in shitty diapers and everything else. She'd have to clean her and take care of her and everything all day. And then April and the kids wouldn't come back until late, where she had to pay extra babysitting costs. And then Linda flew in for a week and helped babysit. While my 3 kids are fighting on who's going to inherit what, Mom is being neglected. They don't know what the hell Mom has gone through. The doctor's visits, the CAT scans, all of the tests. They don't remember any damn thing because they don't show up. I'm the one that knows 100% of her medical history since the day I met her in '69. And all the shit she's gone through with chemo, radiation, lung cancer, ulcer, and everything else. But I'm mentally ill. Every mental illness known to mankind, Howard County General Hospital put on me. And the first day I was there, they refused to move me to the VA. And as an emergency, the VA would have had to have taken me because I'm a 100% disabled veteran. Oh, let me back up a little bit. About 3 years ago, I had 6 cars and I was tired of paying insurance on all of them. I was either going to sell it back to CarMax or I offered it to Christina because her Corolla was 5 years older and had 150,000 plus more miles on it. My car was a 2008. This was about 4 years ago. And CarMax was willing to give me $9,000 for it. Christina said no, but Curtis's Nissan is falling apart and got 6 figures on the speedometer. So I offered it to Curtis, and he said, fine, I'll take it. And then all of a sudden, Christina and Curtis, he's going to cheat me out of the will. I'm sitting there putting it in the will that he owes you $3,000 extra for each one of you. No, he's going to be the executor of the will. He's going to cheat us out of every damn thing. Can't you pay us now the $3,000? So I scrimped and saved and took money out of my wife's IRA to pay him the damn $3,000 each, to shut him up. But anyway, while I'm in the mental institution, Christina keeps coming in, even brought Mom in one time, saying, how soon can we bring Mom home? Everybody, all of us are about in divorce with our spouses. Curtis is having a nightmare with his wife and Mom. I'm sitting there laughing my head off, not showing her though. They said they could take better care. So I said, maybe November 7th or 14th. I need a few more weeks to recover from this when I get out of here. If I ever get out of here and not go to jail. October 14th, I'm out. Christina basically wants to bring her home, but Curtis says no, not until November 7th. They bring her home. I asked them to sign a paper that I have care, I can take care of her and make medical decisions. Christina and Curtis said, no, we cannot sign that. Just take care of her. Don't tell anybody. And if she does get sick again and needs to go back to the hospital, just pretend that you're her husband and does have medical decisions for her until we're notified by you. I don't lie. When she went back into the organs, I told them I didn't